broadcast will be ending. So I'll just go ahead and give a little bit of time for that. That's disrespectful. Okay. All right. I'll go ahead and open this up for general public comment. The next item. The public is allowed to speak on issues or items that are not scheduled for discussion on the agenda. Comments should be limited to issues and items germane to the business of the governing body. The commission will not discuss or debate these items, nor will the commission make decisions on items presented during this time. Members of the public will be limited to 3 minutes for comments.
Hi, I'm Chris Flowers. So I guess it was the June 4th meeting where we moved public comment to the very end and stopped recording and broadcasting it. But at that meeting, Commissioner Sellers said, general public comment period is an opportunity for individuals in the community, our consultants, I might have misspoke there, but individuals in the community to come and to have dialogue with us about things that are not currently on the agenda. And that word dialogue, I just completely disagree with that. I say, what a load of shit if you're going to say that the purpose of public comment is to come and have dialogue with you all. Okay, first of all, if public comment was meant to be a dialogue, then it would be normal for you all to respond during it. I mean, the rules, the guidelines are that you don't respond to public comment. So how is it a dialogue if we come up here and talk to you while you just sit there and stare at us? That's not dialogue. Dialogue is two people talking. And then I looked at a website. It was called Jurassic Parliament. I forget, but it said there's a whole little paragraph about it, and it started with public comment is not dialogue. And then it went on to say later in it, it is in fact a one-way communication to the board. So I just want to throw that out, that public comment is not dialogue with y'all, because it is a one-way communication. And I just want to say again that that the purpose of public comment is for us to address the commission in front of an audience. And that's important, in front of an audience, because I think I've also read, I didn't do a deep dive, that the public comment started because of meetings being done in private. And so by doing it in public, we're addressing you all in front of the whole public. I'm gonna run out of time, but y'all y'all were like, you're not silencing anyone because we still have the opportunity to come here and speak, but you might not have silenced us, but what you did was cover the public's ears. So I have more to say. I'll wait till the next week, but or a couple of weeks, I guess. But I just want to throw that out there, that public comment is not a dialogue unless you all start talking back to us. Thank you.
You guys roll by that city manager or city commission items future agenda thing pretty quick, but I want to make sure everybody realizes that on July 2nd, we're going to be talking about Burt Nash funding. And on July 16th and August 20th, they've already set the revenue neutral weight and 2025 budget hearings. So those are some dates that you need to be talking about. And, it'd be a little helpful if you guys from the dais or this jackass over here might actually explain some of this instead of just saying, oh, I'm good with that, let's move on. Each of you and the Lawrence Police Department owed the citizenry a duty of care to hire and retain and supervise competent, law-abiding individuals. You've each breached your duty by hiring and retaining and improperly supervising each of the defendants named in the various civil suits the city now faces and the ones coming. You've ratified and approved these actions of the individuals as each of them has enjoyed the continued support and justification of their actions from our leaders. You don't like it when I come in here and call the police chief an arrogant motherfucker, but he is. And I've shown you that. I've shown your CPRB that, and I'll be revisiting that in the coming weeks. Since nothing I say really matters to you, I thought I'd change it up and tell you what I've heard other people say. Said to me about the public comment changing, the rules changing. It's funny how light all the agendas have been since that vote. Said to me about the county commission race in my district. Lisa Larson needs to stay in her lane. Said to me by a former commissioner, said about me by a former commissioner, he waited so he could harass me. Said to me by the witness to that lie, why is Courtney taking a picture of you? Said to me by Craig Owens, stay away for 60 days. Said to me about the First Amendment by a local journalist, are you Cohen? Is this California? Written about me by the same local journalist. LPD's narrative, pretty much. Myself or my attorney were never asked for any clarification or questions to be answered. Said to me by a homeless individual with no place to live who's been kicked out of Pallet again because he makes people uncomfortable. I'm giving up on everything. Said to me by commissioners, nothing of real action or consequence. Said to me by police at your fucking behest, if you don't leave the meeting, I will arrest you. Said about me by the district attorney, he's a felon. Said to me by a Burt Nash worker, I don't understand why they can't see where the real problem is. Said to me by an attorney, it's so obvious, it's almost like they're trying to get sued. Said to me by people you work with, I can't afford to put myself out there like that. Said to me by people I work with, I don't know why you put yourself out there like that. Said to me while I was getting fuel yesterday, thanks for giving a shit.
My name is Dr. Justin Spees. I want to read an article that is finally being reported on in the liberal mainstream media today, but the information reported is nothing new, as this information had been reported throughout 2023 in places other than liberal mainstream media, and was known years before that even. This article is from Yahoo News. It's not from Breitbart or the Daily Mail or Fox News. It's from your left-wing liberal news, now finally reporting on this. The title of the article is COVID vaccines may have helped fuel rise in excess deaths. And you all contributed to this with your funding and support of the Lawrence Douglas County Health Department's vaccine clinics for adults and children beginning at 6 months of age. Anyways, this article came out on June 4th, 2024. COVID vaccines could be partly to blame for the rise in excess deaths since the pandemic, scientists have suggested. Researchers from the Netherlands analyzed data from 47 Western countries and discovered there had been more than 3 million excess deaths since 2020, with the trend continuing despite the rollout of vaccines and containment measures. They said the unprecedented figures raised serious concerns and called on governments to fully investigate the underlying causes, including vaccine harms. Writing in the BMJ Public Health, the author said, although COVID-19 vaccines were provided to guard civilians from suffering morbidity and mortality by the COVID-19 virus, suspected adverse events have been documented as well. Both medical professionals and citizens have reported serious injuries and deaths following vaccination to various official databases in the Western world. The study found that across Europe, the United States, and Australia, there had been more than 1 million excess deaths in 2020 at the height of the pandemic, but also 1.2 million in 2021 and 800,000 in 2022 after measures were implemented. Researchers said the figure included deaths from COVID-19, but also the, quote, the indirect effects of the health strategies to address the virus spread and infection, end quote. That's you guys and your vaccine bullshit. They warned that the side effects linked to the COVID vaccine have included stroke, acute coronary syndrome, and brain hemorrhage, cardiovascular diseases, coagulation, hemorrhages, gastrointestinal events, and blood clotting. German researchers have pointed out that the onset of excess mortality in early 2021 in the country coincided with the rollout of vaccines, which the team said, quote, warranted further investigation. Speaking about the potential for vaccine harm, the authors are correct to point out that many vaccine-related serious adverse events may have been unreported and point to the fact that this simultaneous onset of excess mortality and COVID vaccination in Germany is worthy of further investigation on its own. End of the article. These are my words now. Those who resisted the medical tyranny during COVID represented truth, while you all and everyone that went along with it represented control, tyranny, ego, self-importance, stupidity, entitlement, cowardice. closed-mindedness and blind obedience like the little bitches you are.
All right. Sherry, any public comment on Zoom?
Stephen Watts.
Hi, thank you. You know, just excuse me. Please don't consider it picayune when citizens report errors that they find. You know, I don't go looking for these errors and these blatant mistakes just to go find them. It's as a result of having a question and trying to get it answered on the city website, which is where the information is supposed to be. And then when the question is not getting answered, there's a link there. You click on, well, what's going on over? And there you have it. One error after another. You know, I understand that information changes very rapidly, but at the same time, if we cannot do the nuts and bolts in our community, we cannot do these these large projects. It's rather amusing in many respects to hear all of this stuff about all of these unfunded projects, just stuff people are dreaming up. Meanwhile, we can't get the nuts and bolts done. And so, you know, again, it's just everyday use of the website that finds these errors. I use government a lot. I believe in government. That's what it's there for, to provide services. Why are the police exempted in the town travel policy specifically relative to privacy, that they don't have to report their travel for privacy? What the hell is that? No other town workers are eligible for privacy? What is this privacy with respect to traveling to trainings? Or if they go out of town to take somebody somewhere, why can't that be reported simply on assignment or whatever? I'm sure there are reasons where it doesn't need to be reported, but as a blatant, arrogant, we're not going to do it. And now the fire department is doing it. Incredible. If we cannot do the nuts and bolts, we cannot do the big things. Please, it's a metaphor. Thank you.
That's all the comments, Mayor.
Okay. All right. It's our last item.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
I have a first and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Passes 5-0. Thank you all. Good night.
Good night.
When are you going to say something, other than just to throw me out or shut me out, Bart?
Thanks.